Sometimes the truth is painful.
You can't handle the truth!
Welcome to this week's Todd Wrestles with the Truth. AEW Week in Review. The first show of the week, which takes place on Monday nights at 7 on AEW's YouTube channel, is AEW Dark Elevation. This was a big show this week with 16 matches. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about with this one. Man. First match of the episode was Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, best friends, taking on Ryan Nemeth and JD Drake. This match was set up from last week because Orange Cassidy took on Ryan Nemeth last week, beating him. Ryan Nemeth attacked Orange Cassidy after the match, and Chuck Taylor came out to make the save. Then JD Drake ran out and attacked Chuck Taylor from behind, saving Ryan Nemeth, which that's what set up this tag team match this week. Another pretty good match. Of course, Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy kind of controlled the whole match. A few spots here and there where they lost control for a few minutes, but best friends, Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, won this match. And after they won, though, while they were celebrating, Kip Sabian and Miro came out to threaten them ahead of the Arcade Anarchy match on Wednesday night. So after they threatened them, they left. Best friends went to leave the ring, heading towards the exit tunnel, and got attacked and jumped by, of course, Miro and Kip Sabian. And attacked them and beat them down for a few minutes before Miro took his shoe off and started beating Chuck Taylor in the head with it, which is really weird. And then they left. And then that's where it went on to the after that. So they'll have the Arcade Anarchy match on Wednesday night, which should be really good after this build-up. It's been a long build-up of this feud. So the next match of the night was Jon Moxley taking on Bill Collier. This is Collier's debut AEW match. A lot of people might not know Collier. Collier's actually holds 3 different heavyweight championships in 3 different indie promotions, coming into facing Moxley in this match. Of course, Moxley wins this match with the bare naked choke and submits. Collier passes out from it. And the funny thing was, Moxley got up and kind of said something to Collier. You couldn't hear what he said, and then gave him a little head rub. Like, good match. The next match of the night was Penelope Ford taking on Leela Gray. Squash match, kind of. Leela got in a couple of good moves, but basically, Penelope Ford squashed her. Penelope Ford wins this match, having Kip Sabian in her corner. And the next match of the night was the Gun Club versus Rex Lawless and Chocolate Milk. Again, Chocolate Milk. Sorry, too damn funny. Another great 6-man tag match. And what AEW is doing with all these 6-man tag team matches is it's getting close to. It's got to be coming up soon with one of the pay-per-views. Is that they're going to unveil the 6-man tag team championships that they've been talking about for a while now. So that's why they're having a lot lately of these 6-man tag matches to set up the tag teams for those championships. Hopefully it'll be soon at one of the next pay-per-views, but they haven't exactly told when it's going to be yet. So anybody's guess right now. This was a good match and kind of pretty much a squash match. The Gun Club got the victory when with their finisher, the 310 to Yuma, which I love that. I love that name for, the Gun Club. That's a great, reminds me of the movie, the Westerns. Another decent match, but yeah, it was, the Gun Club's going to win this match because Billy Gunn's not losing. So the next match of the night was Joey Janella versus Chandler Hopkins. This was a pretty good match, actually. Showed off Chandler Hopkins. He's another indie star, I believe, from Texas, and showed some good moves. Joey Janela got the win in this match. like I said, it was a pretty good match. I'm really liking what Dark Elevation is doing with bringing in all these new talent to give them some TV time. So I see some of these guys like Hopkins and some of these from, indie promotions that don't get a lot of, or if any, television time, to get them in the swing of things for being on television. And as they get better and better, they work their way up now from Elevation to Dark, and then hopefully they get up to Dynamite, which is the actual television. But these two shows are really good for getting these people, experience and getting them over with the audiences. So Joey Janella wins this match. Again, really good match. So there's just so many matches this night to keep up with. It was kind of hard to to keep up with all these matches. Next match of the night was Thunder Rosa versus Alex Garcia. Thunder Rosa is really good. I mean, for somebody who hasn't been wrestling like for a decade at least, she's really good. She's smooth. Her matches are good. She hardly has any. I don't think I've seen a botch in one of her matches since she started with coming to AEW. But I believe she also wrestles for NWA. And since they're starting up again, I believe I heard. So she might have to go back to NWA for a while, but I don't know if she's going to be able to do both, or at least until her contract is up with NWA, then maybe she'll come back permanently to AEW, but that's what I heard. But yeah, another great match. Thunder Rosa, like I said, is really good. Doesn't miss a beat. She's smooth. Her matches are really good. And she defeated Alex Garcia in this really good women's match, which is really nice to see AEW doing a lot more really good women's matches instead of just thinking of it as like a second thought. There's that women's match. Yeah, let's do that. This was another good match. Like Thunder said, Thunder Rosa is really good. And if you get a chance to watch any of her matches, watch them because you'll be impressed with her. The next match was Leela Hirsch versus Vimprus. I think that's how you say it. This was, I believe, her debut as well, Vimprus. Leela Hirsch is an impressive wrestler. Has an impressive. She has a amateur background, and she's really small too. But you wouldn't expect the power she has to come out of her. I mean, she does some pretty impressive moves, power moves. But another pretty good pretty good women's match. This one, Leela Hirsch takes the win. And so that was another really good match. I mean, so it'd be interesting to see the Vimprus some more, to see what else she can do, in future matches. The next match of the night was Frankie Kazarian against Danny Limelight. I think this was a singles match for Kazarian, really good match. Kazarian's awesome. I mean, a veteran. But I think this was a really a singles match to get him warmed up for Dynamite, where he'll face the returning to wrestling Christian Cage, who's been away for 7 years with a neck injury. Didn't think he was ever going to wrestle again. He made a sort of comeback at the Royal Rumble, where he appeared in the Royal Rumble for WWE, but just didn't have anything to do with WWE after that. They didn't do anything. They thought, oh, well, he'll just stick around. We'll figure out something for him later and sign him. So he said, screw that. I want to wrestle. And he came to AEW. And him and Frankie Kazarian have been friends for years, ever since the TNA Impact days. And so they're going to have a match on Dynamite. Like a warm-up match, I guess you'd call it, for Christian Cage to get back in the swing of things. And there couldn't be anybody better than Kazarian to have that match. Speaking of better than Kazarian, Kazarian wins this match against Danny Limelight. Danny Limelight's another one that's going to be an impressive wrestler in a while, because being a rookie, he showed some pretty good moves against Kazarian. But, Kazarian being the veteran, got the win. The next match of the night was All Ego Ethan Page versus Fuego Del Sol. Fuego Del Sol keeps saying that he's the master of the Tornado DDT, but I've only seen him actually get the move done twice. So people say, to be a master, you have to win with it. But I can see why AEW signed Ethan Page. He's a really good wrestler, a really good, talker and character. After he left Impact, and this was a pretty good match, but it was pretty much a squash match. Ethan Page came right out and destroyed Fuego del Sol. He might have gotten a little bit of offense, but Ethan Page just came right back and basically ran him over. So yes, Ethan Page got the win here over Fuego del Sol. The next match of the night was a warm-up match for Hikaru Shida and Tai Conti taking on Jasmine Allure and Tessa Price. This was, I would call this a warm-up match for Shida and Conti because they've never tag teamed together, so they tag teamed in this match to get a familiar feel for each other because they're going to be having a match against the Bunny and Nyla Rose on Dynamite on Wednesday. So a good match, but they pretty much squashed Jasmine Allure and Tessa Price though, because Shida, women's world champion, Tai Conti, the number one contender for the championship, they're both really good, and it was a really good match. I love seeing Shida wrestle, and now I'm really liking to watch Tai Conti because she's also a black belt in judo, and she does a lot of those judo moves and throws and holds while she's wrestling. So yeah, they got the win over Jasmine Allure and Tessa Price. The next match of the night was Jungle Boy with Jurassic Express taking on Jack Evans with Angelico in his corner, which it's good to see Angelico back after he was off for months because of an injury, which left Jack Evans to have to do singles matches. It's going to be great to see them tag teaming again together because they are an excellent tag team. This was a really good match. Jungle Boy is becoming so good. Every time I see Jungle Boy, he's getting better and better. Oh my God. And Jungle Boy did get the win here, slapping on his submission hold, making Jack Evans tap out. And the next match of the night was QT Marshall and Lee Johnson, a tag team against Adam Priest and Aaron Fry. This was a pretty good match, but it was a squash. I guess I call it a squash. But it's really great to see, Elevation doing these matches where they're getting these rookies some exposure against veterans like QT Marshall and some of these guys. So, even if it comes out to be a squash match, it's not, it's not really a squash match and that they're rookies and they're learning. So it's really good. But QT Marshall and Lee Johnson did get the win here, defeating Adam Priest and Aaron Fry in another really pretty good match. All of these tonight have been really decent matches. The next match of the night was Rio Mizunami, which has been a breath of fresh air and awesome to see her come over from Japan and just kicking butt. She only has one loss in AEW since getting there, and that was to Shida, the women's champion. So she's just coming in and just steamrolling people as she did when she was in Japan. I think in Japan she had held 6 different titles or 6 different times held titles. So she's a veteran. And she was taking on tonight Kylie King. And yeah, it was an okay match. I mean, Kylie had the height advantage on her, but Mizunami had the experience, and it showed. She got the win in this match because of that experience. Another really good women's match. I mean, they're lining up a lot of good women's matches these days, which is great to see. After AEW had such a sputtering start to the women's wrestling in AEW that they kind of went, it's there. But now they've gone full force into it, and they've gotten a lot of great women's matches. I mean, this being one of them. Every time you see Rio Mizunami, watch her wrestle. She's funny. She's got that over-exaggerated, Japanese style, strong style wrestler, but she's good. And she is good at what she does. And it was a great match. The next match of the night was the Dark Order's Allen Angels, number 5, and number 10 taking on D3 and Very Morales. Another decent match, but the Dark Order guys, they just came out and just kicked butt. Number 10 got the win in this match when he slapped on a full Nelson and basically ragdolled the guy to basically pass out because, the ref had to ring the bell. But yeah, the Dark Order has got so many talented people in it now. It is incredible. I mean, what a group. The next match of the night was Private Party taking on Bear Country. I'm really starting to like Bear Country. They're big guys, powerhouse guys. But unfortunately, tonight, Private Party got the win. And it was, I don't know if it was because of, or they just blamed it on Marco Stunt. Because Marco Stunt ran out and attacked Matt Hardy because of the stuff that they've been having from the week before. And I guess that distracted Bear Country from their finishing move, and they got rolled up and by Private Party. And so Bear Country gets the loss. They blamed Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt came to the ring and tried to apologize, saying that's not what he was doing. He was just trying to make sure that Matt Hardy didn't interfere in the match. I guess they didn't believe him, so they started to attack Marco Stunt. The rest of Jurassic Express came out, made the save. They got into a brawl, and so that's leading to a match between Jurassic Express and Bear Country. So that should be a great match. I mean, two powerhouse guys. You got, Luchasaurus, big guy, martial arts guy, can kick your head off from just about any angle. And Jungle Boy, which, like I said, just becoming a better and better wrestler every time I see him. So that should be good. And then, Private Party and Matt Hardy snuck off laughing because they caused this rift between those two teams. So we'll see what happens there. And then the last match of the night, Scorpio Sky against Mike Sydal, with Matt Sydal in his corner. This is part of Scorpio Sky's, I guess, heel turn. He says it's not a heel turn, but he's not acting like he did when he was fully part of SCU, though it's a heel turn. So it was a great match. Every match you can get into with Scorpio Sky is a great match. Scorpio Sky is an awesome wrestler. I would still like to see him part of SCU, but now they're trying something new with him, I guess, making him a bad guy. And so, great match. Mike Sydal, wow. Yoga master, he calls himself. Flexible as hell for the yoga. Man, he was dodging moves like he was freaking in the Matrix. But Scorpio Sky finally locked on his finishing move, his submission move. Mike Sydal tapped out. Scorpio Sky wouldn't release the move. So Matt Sydal jumped in to attack him, to stop him. And then out comes, who of all people? Page. All ego. Ethan Page runs out, attacks Matt Sydal, and then him and Scorpio Sky attack both the Sydal brothers, and then walk out to leave. Scorpio Sky turns to the good guy tunnel, as it's called, does a spin on the stage, and then him and Ethan Page walk out the bad guy tunnel. So that was interesting to see that the heel turn is in full swing. Literally, he did a spin on his heels, and then walked out of the bad guy tunnel. So it's going to be interesting to see this group pairing of Page and Scorpio Sky, because two very good wrestlers, as I said on the review of his before. Well, so watch. So the next episode of Elevation, it will be, like I said, it's Mondays at 7. So it'll be, and it's on their YouTube channel. So thank you for watching Todd Wrestles with the Truth, AEW Week in Review for AEW Dark Elevation.